Can I really convince you that these 10 rock icons should hang up their guitars? And no, this isn't about disrespect. It's about legacies and the natural evolution of a music career. And nobody makes that conversation harder to have than Eric Clapton. The man is a living god. Slow hand. One of the most influential guitarists who ever breathed. But if you've watched him on the 2024 and 2025 tours, something feels genuinely different. The fluid phrasing that once seemed effortless now comes with very visible effort. The voice is thinner, the stamina clearly rationed more carefully, and Clapton himself has openly mentioned hearing loss, tinnitus, and peripheral neuropathy affecting his playing. He's not hiding it, he's fighting through it every single night, which is admirable, genuinely. But there's a point where fighting through it stops honoring the music and starts doing it a quiet disservice. He's edging toward that line.
There's peace, I'm sure, and I know there'll be no more.
And then there's Carlos Santana, a man who turned the electric guitar into something almost spiritual. Nobody sounds like him. Nobody ever has or will. But 2023 was a serious wake-up call. He collapsed on stage in Michigan from heat exhaustion and dehydration mid-show, and it was genuinely frightening to witness. He bounced back, kept right on touring, and fans cheered, but maybe they shouldn't have been quite so quick to cheer. Because the question isn't whether Carlos has the willpower. Obviously, he does. The real question is whether the body can still keep up with that kind of relentless touring schedule at 77 years old, playing outdoor summer shows in baking heat night after night. The tone is still unmistakably his. The spirit is absolutely still there. But collapsing on stage isn't a blip, it's a clear signal. A pretty loud one. And when your body sends signals that obvious, maybe it's finally time to listen.
This is me, a movie. You lost, see I'm the one.
Pete Townshend has been honest about this longer than almost anyone. And honestly, you have to genuinely respect that. He's openly said he doesn't enjoy touring anymore, that the physical toll is real, that his hearing is severely damaged after decades of punishing stage volumes, and that performing no longer gives him what it once did. So here's the obvious question. If the man himself isn't enjoying it, why are we watching him do it? The Who's recent shows have had moments of real power. Townshend's Windmill is still one of rock's great visual statements, but there's a difference between a legend choosing to perform and a legend feeling contractually obligated. With only 2 classic members left, the whole enterprise leans heavily on nostalgia. And nostalgia, as we've established in this series, is not the same thing as a great live show. It's time to let it go. Pete, you said it yourself. We all heard you. Now here's where it gets genuinely complicated, because Mick Jagger might actually be the hardest person on this entire list to argue against. The man had open heart surgery in 2019 and was back on stage within weeks. Weeks. That's either inspiring or slightly insane, depending entirely on your perspective. And at 81, he still moves, still commands, still does things on a stage that men half his age genuinely couldn't pull off. But watch closely and you'll notice the voice doing things differently now. The phrasing more careful, certain notes quietly rerouted around trouble spots. The Stones, without Charlie Watts, already feel different in ways hard to put into words. And Keith's hands aren't what they were either. The whole thing is running on accumulated greatness and sheer willpower rather than the raw, dangerous energy that once defined them. There's a fine line between defying age and denying it. The Stones are walking it very carefully right now. Roger Daltrey has been doing something quietly brave and quietly frustrating in equal measure. He keeps showing up even when his voice makes it increasingly difficult. In recent years, he's battled viral meningitis, lost significant upper register range, and been very open about the limitations he now faces on stage. And yet, there he is, every tour bellowing his way through Won't Get Fooled Again with absolutely everything he has left, which these days is noticeably less than it once was. The thing is, Daltrey was one of the greatest rock voices of his entire generation. Raw, powerful, ferocious in a way very few singers ever achieved. Watching that specific voice struggle is not the same as watching a lesser singer struggle. It hits completely differently. There's genuine, real loss there, and sometimes the most powerful thing a legend can do is acknowledge that loss publicly rather than paper over it with pyrotechnics and sheer nostalgia. Roger deserves better. And then there's Iggy Pop, the godfather of punk, the man who invented stage diving, crowd surfing, and probably a few things your parents still don't want to know about. At 78, Iggy is still out there, still taking his shirt off, still throwing himself around like a man half his age. And look, the sheer spirit of the thing is undeniably impressive. But watch the recent live footage closely and you'll say it. The voice is rougher than rough, the movement more careful than it looks, and the raw, genuinely dangerous energy that once made him terrifying has shifted into something more like performance art about being dangerous. Which is fascinating, honestly, but it's not quite the same thing. Iggy built his entire legend on chaos that felt completely real and completely uncontrolled. When that chaos becomes choreographed, even brilliantly, it's a different show. A great one, maybe, but a different one. Time to let the legend breathe. Jimmy Page is a fascinating and slightly heartbreaking case because the man has barely toured since Led Zeppelin ended back in 1980, and yet rumors of comebacks, reunions, and solo projects never quite stop swirling around him. Every few years, there's a new whisper, a new band, a new album, a tour that never actually materializes, and fans keep hoping, keep waiting, keep getting quietly disappointed. The 2007 Zeppelin reunion at the O2 was extraordinary. Page looked and sounded genuinely remarkable that night, but that was nearly 20 years ago now. He's 81. The hands that rewrote what the electric guitar could do are not the same hands they were back then. If he came back now, the gap between expectation and reality would be genuinely painful to witness up close. Sometimes the kindest thing a legend can do is let the recordings do all the talking. Jimmy Page's legacy is already permanently secured. No comeback changes that.
First, just the basic facts. Can you show me where it hurts?
David Gilmour is a slightly different case from everyone else on this list, because the man can genuinely still play. The 2024 Luck and Strange tour proved that clearly enough. His tone is still breathtaking, his phrasing still deeply emotional, his guitar voice still instantly recognizable anywhere on the entire planet. But here's the honest question worth asking. Is what we're watching now truly Pink Floyd, or something that has borrowed the aesthetic of Pink Floyd without the creative soul that Roger Waters, whatever you think of him personally, once provided? Gilmour himself seems to know the band is gone for good. The shows are beautiful but elegiac, more like a museum exhibit than a living, breathing musical act. There's nothing wrong with that, genuinely. But at some point, even David Gilmour might consider whether the music he's created is so complete, so perfect already, that live performance isn't meaningfully adding anything further. The records were always enough. Steven Tyler is actually the clearest example on this entire list of retirement done accidentally right. His 2023 Peace Out tour ended when he fractured his larynx mid-run, causing months of canceled shows, and eventually, Aerosmith officially announcing their retirement from touring in 2024. Brutal? Absolutely. The right outcome? Almost certainly yes, because the alternative was watching Tyler push a genuinely damaged voice through shows that could no longer survive with any real dignity. The man defined what a rock frontman could be. The scarves, the strut, the scream, the sheer ridiculous charisma of the whole thing. That image deserves to stay intact. And the way it ended, as painful as it was, actually preserved the legend better than years of slow, grinding, diminishing returns ever would have done. Sometimes the universe makes the decision a proud man simply won't make for himself. In Tyler's case, the timing, however forced, turned out to be right. And finally, Keith Richards. The man who famously outlasted everyone, including several species of insect and at least one sitting government. The long-running joke that Keith will be the last thing standing after the apocalypse exists, because for decades, absolutely nothing stopped him. Not the lifestyle, not the years, not basic physics, but watch the recent Stones footage carefully, and something has genuinely shifted. The rhythmic lock that once made him arguably the most important rhythm guitarist in rock history is looser now. The timing occasionally wanders. The solos noticeably shorter and more cautious. He's 81, playing at a level that would genuinely impress any man of 60. But those songs demand more than cautious. The Stones built everything on being dangerous and genuinely unpredictable. When that danger finally disappears, and it is disappearing, what remains is an enormously valuable heritage attraction. Absolutely worth preserving, but maybe better. Preserved on record than on a stadium stage. And there you have it. 10 rock icons who, in my opinion, should really consider hanging up their guitars. Look, this wasn't about tearing anyone down. These are legends. Every single one of them changed what rock music could be. And that matters more than I can say. But there's a real and important difference between honoring a legacy and slowly dismantling it, one painful tour at a time. So tell me, did I get it right? Or is there someone I missed who absolutely belongs on this list? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I read every single one, And if classic rock runs through your veins like it does through mine, hit subscribe and let's keep this conversation going.